Hello my people, it's Aisha. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to talk about what it's like being a black girl in the Asian community. So as you may know, I am Gambian and I am married to a Pakistani man, and we have a beautiful mixed race baby. We want to raise her as someone who is open, like who accepts both cultures. So yeah, anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, first of all, before I start this video, I just wanted to say I'm not trying to bash no one. I'm not trying to, you know, anything like that. I'm literally just saying what I've seen. The Pakistani community is a really nice one. Like, the culture is absolutely amazing. It's so interesting. There's so much, like, there's a strong sense of culture, and I absolutely love that. Let's talk about first how it was like before we got married. Obviously we decided, for the sake of Allah and ourselves, we ain't trying to go to hell, you know what I mean? We decided to just get married. We were boyfriend and girlfriend for about a year, I think, before. I think around a year? Yeah, a year before we got married. And yeah, so we decided, you know what, no, like, we're gonna do this the halal way. I know this is the right, I'm not trying to promote for people to be having boyfriends and stuff like that, you know what I mean? You have to do it the right way. I know that things, you know, I know, I'm aware. On my side of the family, things were accepted very well. Like, people were very happy to see the fact that we were getting together, we were getting married, and I don't think race even came into the, like, whole thing. However, on their side, from what I know, his mom and his brothers were absolutely, like, perfectly, like perfectly fine about us getting married. But obviously, you know, there are other members of the family who were a bit more traditional, and obviously everyone knows that there's a strong sense of staying in your own culture in the Pakistani community. So it's hard for a lot of people to swallow the fact that a black girl is going to come into their, like, household. So anyway, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys and say that on one side of this family, the whole idea of us getting married wasn't very well received. However, on the other side, things were absolutely amazing. Everyone was so happy, so excited, you know, like, they wanted to get to know me even after we got married. Like, I felt part of the family on that side. Like, there was no sense of judgment, or, you know, like, if I was doing something, are they gonna think, oh, that's what black people do, or anything like that. I never thought of that with them. They, like, opened their arms to me, you know. They were like, eat this, eat that, because, you know, in the Pakistani community, yeah, food is love, and so is it in mine, to be honest. But they'd be like, yeah, eat this, eat that, try this, try that, have you ever had this is so great, have this, blah 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 blah. And it just felt so good. Like, I felt like they actually accepted me into the family, so that was great. And I feel like if it wasn't for them and his mum and his brothers, I don't think that I would have felt so accepted, so happy. I just wouldn't have felt so happy with my decision, even though, like, the whole marriage to him, I would have done it no matter what. Like, he's my husband, I knew he was gonna be, he's my limb, like, bruh. Like, I don't think I can live without him. Yes, I don't think I can live without him. But seriously, like, the way I feel for Sahib is so strong. But everyone knows that family can be a big destruction factor in someone's relationship. Like, if, like, say your mum didn't like your significant other, you'd be hearing it from her all the time, and in the end that relationship will break down. However, alhamdulillah, like, his mum and his brothers and stuff like that, like, they were absolutely amazing, and they made me feel so accepted. Their arms were open wide. It was amazing. So moving on, I felt like his other family members were starting to open up and warm up to me, and, you know, it felt good. So things like with race, in terms of the household, I didn't feel the fact that I was a black girl living in a different culture. Obviously they speak mainly Urdu in that household. I do speak English to all of his family members, obviously, because I can't speak anything else. But when they're speaking and stuff like that, it is quite awkward sometimes. Like, you don't know if they're having an argument or if they're just having a nice conversation. Sometimes you just be sat there eating, just chilling, and then all of a sudden someone's arguing with this other person. You're like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's so awkward. But obviously like all family members argue and stuff like that. I'm just saying that when you don't know what's going on and you just all of a sudden see someone's negative and you're like, should I go? Like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, especially in the beginning, the first year, I do feel a little bit of anxiety when it comes to like meeting new people, like family, friends and stuff like that, because I just feel like there's this like they could really judge me. And as you know, confident as I am as my own person, like it is a little bit of sticky situation when you feel like someone doesn't like you, so like you start to put more pressure on yourself and stuff like that, and it's just like, ugh, I just can't be bothered. I mean, I know you can't please everyone, and I know not everyone's gonna like me. I'm aware. I'm on YouTube where the haters and the trolls are sky high, but you know, it is what it is. Also, it gives me a lot of anxiety going to like Pakistani weddings as well, because I've noticed I've been to, I think about 2 or 3, I think 2, 3. I've been to 3 so far, and I don't know why. I'm not ashamed of having afro hair. I'm not ashamed of having curly afro hair. So I feel like I'm not doing myself any favors by hiding my African self, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna try and pretend to be a different race, because I'm not. I'm black, that's it. All right, accept it or leave. So anyway, I would usually wear my hair in its afro state when it comes to these kind of like things. Like, I like to wear my hair in an afro and stuff like that because I feel good in it. But I feel like with them, like they're just so used to their like, you know, sleek curly like hair. Like they'll like curl their hair and like it'll be all the way down to their bums, which I'm aiming for, darling. I'm aiming for waist length hair. Okay, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, like they're just used to a certain type of hair texture, and so when they see me with my big afro, they're like, wow, that's something, you know. Like, I don't know if they're judging me, but they're just like, oh, like I haven't seen that before and stuff like that. And I do feel stares, especially when like they see me, like maybe I'm on my own and then I walk over to I can tell that they're trying to find, oh, who's she with, oh, whose wife is that, or whose friend is that, or blah blah blah, like whatever. And like if they see me walking over, I just feel the eyes. It's like the wedding doesn't even matter, it's about us, you know what I mean? Like, I'd prefer if it was just like, oh, okay, someone of a different race, okay, cool, okay, she's black, okay, cool. And then you just continue with your day, because me being black and being in this wedding has nothing to do with you. It's not going to change your life, it's not going to make it better, it's not going to make it worse, so leave me alone. I also wanted to include a story, well, a little story time. It's not a proper story. Oh my god, people are going to be so annoyed with me, so I'm so sorry. Okay. I wanted to include a story time mini like story time segment of one time when I went to the butcher's with my mother-in-law. And I remember I went with her, and obviously I'm just chilling, I'm doing my thing. I did have in the back of my mind that they're probably gonna stare at us and be like, what's she doing with her? But you know, I didn't think it was gonna be anything more than just stares, so I was prepared for the stares. We get there, we're doing our thing, and then we go over to the butcher bit where, like, you know, we gotta order our meat, and then she's like ordering what she needs to order, and then man looks over to me and he's like, is she your friend? And she's like, no, she's my daughter-in-law. And then he was like, oh, did your husband let her marry your son? No, I think he asked, he was like, oh, which son's wife is that? And then she was like, oh yeah, it's my second son. And he was like, oh, so your husband let him marry a black girl or something like that? And then she was like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's like, as long as she's Muslim and she's, you know, a good person, like, it shouldn't really matter. And he was like, yeah, and I can't remember, he just kept like saying something, he said something else that just like really upset me, when like, because obviously I didn't know he was in Urdu, so he's there, I'm there, stood there, my little black self, just watching, like, just don't know what's going on. I could tell that something was going on here, because she, like, they do speak a little, like, there are English words that come into their language sometimes, so I was kind of piecing together a little bit what the conversation was, and I obviously knew it was about me and like being married to her son. So after we got in the car and she tells me what happened, and I literally nearly cried. I just couldn't, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it may not be a big deal to some people, but for me it's like, why does it matter the fact that I am dark skinned? I understand in the Pakistani culture, yeah, it's like lighter is better. I understand that, we have that in our culture too. However, if you're if someone of your culture wants to marry someone outside of their culture, it's not your business. It will not do anything for you. It won't affect you in the slightest. Leave me alone. Leave us alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's frustrating. Like, I'm kind of over it now. Like, it's been 2 years and stuff like that, and I'm just used to getting, you know, judgments and stuff like that from people. I just don't care. But in the beginning, it was quite like confidence crushing, I want to say. Like, I'm not gonna lie, since I got married to my husband, not because of him but because of how I've been viewed, I feel like my confidence level has gone down. And I know people probably be like, sister, no, be brave, be, you know, strong. But it is hard when you have literally injected yourself into a community that, not all of them, but the way that everything is for them, it's like darker skinned is worse. So you're literally injecting yourself into a culture that doesn't really want you, you know what I mean? And the funny thing is, I remember when I was younger, should I say this? I'm not offending anyone or anything, but when I was younger, I remember I said to I was like, I always had a thing for dark features, yeah, against like a lighter skin. I don't know why. Like, I'm not trying to bash any other race or anything like that, but there was always this something, like guys with dark hair, and I mean dark hair and dark beard. It always, was always the one, yeah. But I remember when I was younger, I wasn't that young, I was like probably in my like teens and stuff like that. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna marry me a Pakistani boy. And she was like, good luck, they don't like us. And it was like, I'll always remember that. Like, it will always stick in my head that she said that, and like that did stick in my head. So I was like, literally, when she said that and she explained to me like the Asian community do not like black people, we are at the bottom for them, and I was like, okay, no then, no, there's my dreams down the toilet. But you know, now alhamdulillah I'm here, and it's not just because of like I'm fetishizing him before anyone tries to say anything like that. Like, I feel like this whole race issue I want to do in a separate video about like my insecurities and all, like how my experiences and stuff like that. I feel like I'm going to do that in another video, but I'm just going to quickly touch on the fact that I was pushed away from liking black boys and people of my own race because of how colorism and the issues and stuff like that. And so I kind of like, it was just not in my head to ever go with a black boy, like to ever marry a black boy. It was never in my head. So I was just like, okay, cool, they're not part of it, do you know what I mean? And I would look at the other guys that were around me, and it was mainly white boys, so it was them that I was like mainly interested in. And I would also, and then obviously there was like the whole, like, I realized, Pakistani boys be cute as hell, you know what I mean? Damn, hey. I realized how like attracted I was to them. Like, they're actually like, and I'm not saying them as a race, I mean, I'm just saying about that one feature of they all seem to have that one trait that I was attracted to, which is the dark hair and the light skin, and just I don't know why it's always been there for me. But obviously when Mama said that, they were off the cards as well, and it was just like, okay, white boys and stuff like that. But even with white men, I've always had a thing of like dark hair. Like, that's always been like, obviously I wasn't just stuck with that one kind of type. If there was a blonde guy that I liked, or if there was a ginger guy, I also had a really big thing for ginger men. Oh my god, I used to love guys with ginger hair. And obviously like with them as well, I still had the type of dark hair, like that was just a thing. So it's not like I'm fetishizing the Pakistani community. I felt like it was, you know, as well, I think about it as well, it's like I know that they're Muslim as well, so it's like it's a safe bet. Again, I'm not fetishizing. I want to like really like drain that into anyone. Like, it's not just because my husband's Pakistani that I married him. No way whatsoever. I did not see it come in, but it was like a bonus. It was like, okay, well, like, you know, like say if you're a guy and you like a girl with a certain figure, but you know, you've been dating all around, but then that girl with a certain figure is the one that you end up being with. Like, it's just the bonus, you know what I mean? Yeah, in terms of like race, like me and my husband, we really don't feel that between us. Sometimes we make jokes and stuff like that, or we like the whole topic of race, especially since we've fell pregnant and had Nyla, the topic of race is really like in there now, because we want to make sure that the way we raise her, she doesn't end up being embarrassed of one side of her family, or not having enough of that cultural experience. We want to know that she is able to confidently be in both sides of her culture, you know what I mean? Like if there's a Gambian thing going on, she's chilling with the Gambian, she knows to speak Wolof, she knows what's going on and all that kind of stuff. If there's a Pakistani event or whatever, she'd do the same. In terms of my biggest fears for Nyla is colorism, and on both sides, because Gambians have a big issue with colorism, Pakistanis have a huge issue with colorism. It's like on our side, it's like people are going to be coming up saying, oh, you're so beautiful because you're light skinned, like, you know, oh, your light skin is so beautiful, your curly hair is so beautiful. I prayed so hard for my child to have the kinkiest hair possible. It's curly, yeah, she's probably gonna have an afro, but it's not gonna be like kinky curly. And the reason that I wanted that was because I wanted to prove to people that just because, you know, she's mixed race and she has a certain hair type doesn't mean she's not beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be able to take care of that hair naturally, nurture it, love it, and let her have this beautiful kinky afro hair, or as kinky as possible. And I'm 100% happy with it. I appreciate her, every single inch, every single bit of her. I wouldn't change her for the world. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to make her think that she's beautiful just because of the lighter side of her, you know? I want her to know that she's beautiful because she's beautiful. I don't even really want people to be telling her how beautiful she is. I don't want her to be a big-headed type of person, like, you know. That's my biggest fear, for her to be like someone who's like, oh, I'm so beautiful, so arrogant, you know. I want her to be humble. I want her to appreciate, if someone does say, oh, you're beautiful, just to appreciate, oh, thank you, you know what I mean? I don't want her to put her looks up there in terms of what is good about her. I don't even want her looks to be a factor for her. So that's one fear of mine, that she might get too much of a big head from my side or whatever. But from his side, I'm scared that people are going to put her down because she's darker. And she's not really that dark, to be honest. She's actually quite light. But I feel like for their culture, maybe she might be too dark. And if that's the case, like, they might, like, just going to weddings and having little kids tell her, oh, you're so dark, oh, you're ugly because you're dark, you know what I mean? Like, I will have to fight some children, bro. No, I'm joking. Just to have little children telling her, oh, you can't play because you're dark, or I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't know. I've never hung out with Pakistani children. I don't know. But I am very aware that they are very, like, not saying this in a bad way, but they are quite ignorant to black people. They don't know anything about us. It is hard as well to think that you're going to have to release your child in there, because I know what it was like with racism and all that kind of stuff, and how things really hit. And still to this day, it's still there. Like, the things people said to me or did to me or whatever, they're still there in my, like, DNA, I guess. Like, it's engraved. It's not going nowhere. I can't forget it, you know. And I guess it does help to build you and make you a better person, but or the person that you are, whatever. And like, you do need these experiences maybe to make you stronger. But as a mom, it's scary for me to think that my child might feel pain because of someone else. I don't want that. I don't want that. She might come to me and I might make her feel better, but no matter what, she felt that pain, you know. So that's one thing. I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with that. But in terms of, like, everything, like, overall, I know that she feels love on every single side of her family. Like, both sides of them, they love her regardless. And it's so lovely for me to take her to Sahib's side of the family, like, if we go to his grandparents and stuff like that, and just seeing them love her. Like, they love her. They don't look at the fact that she's half black. They don't look at anything like that. They love her as their great-grandchild. Her grandparents love her like their grandchild. There's nothing wrong with her skin color. There's nothing wrong with the fact that her hair is a bit curlier. There's nothing wrong with the fact that I am in her. They love her so much, and that makes me so happy. Obviously, my side of the family also love her, but I'm just saying, me, the black person, seeing from the Pakistani side, like, they genuinely embrace her. Even other people that come to the house, they're like, oh, she's so cute, mashallah, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it does make me feel good. It really does make me feel good, because I don't care if they don't accept me, which I'm not saying that they haven't accepted me. A lot of them have. Like, most people that I've met, everyone that I've met has shown me that they accept me. I don't know what's in their hearts, but we can't judge what's in their hearts because I don't know. But everyone that I've actually met, like, they've come to the house or we've gone to their house, whatever, I've never felt like a problem of, you know, alhamdulillah. Even though I felt that anxiety beforehand, I've never felt like they haven't accepted me, or I wasn't, like, a guest or part of them or whatever. So that's been amazing so far. Obviously, it's only been 2 years. And everyone needs experiences, and everyone will come across people that don't like them, and I'm ready for that, you know. I'm at this point, like, I'm just ready. But it's just, I don't think I'll ever be ready for when Nyla comes up to me and says that someone said this or done this or whatever. And, you know, it's sad. It's sad that race can really affect your relationship with people, or if people even want to try and get to know you or have a relationship with you. It's really sad, but that's life. Happens. I went through it, and hopefully she'll just be strong going through it and everything. I don't want this video to be negative. I definitely don't, because I don't think the Pakistani culture is negative. It's just, that's just one negative aspect, but it's big to me because I am that black person. If I was a white person going in, it probably wouldn't even be that big of a deal, but for me, I'd probably even be getting treated better. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just saying that, like, this is just one negative thing that is big to me that I've experienced. But yeah, the food is delicious, and I'm a foodie, so I love when his mom cooks some, like, you know, Pakistani dishes, and I'm like just there my roti or my paratha, and I'm just like enjoying life, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm probably like this. My favorite dishes, obviously biryani. I also like I'm in love with gobi gosht or aloo gobi. Anything with, like, the cauliflower, anything you add with the cauliflower is just banging. I love anything chickpea salads. I'd love everything. I like every food. I thought I was gonna choose one dish. I don't have a dish. Obviously I love aloo gosht. I don't think that's really much of a, you know, thing to debate, really. It's good. That's it. It's the most basic, it's probably the most basic dish that they have, but it's delicious. Everything I love. I'd like to learn how to make the dishes. In terms of having a baby and uni and all that stuff, it is hard to find time, but I'm hoping that when Nyla grows up a little bit more, before we actually move out, or no, even after, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, you know, like, we have that relationship, me and his mum, where I can literally, I feel like I'll be able to just pop over there, she could pop over anytime, we could just see each other, whatever. So I'd like to learn how to make the dishes, because obviously I've got a half Pakistani baby and my husband's Pakistani, and I wouldn't want to just starve them of their culture, you know. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love being married to him. I don't just love being married to him because he's Pakistani and I'm learning new things and, you know, enjoying the culture. I love him, obviously. It's so cheesy. Oh, so cheesy. I'm so sorry for the cheese. But I love him. I love him lots. Best friend and all that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was just a video letting you guys know what it's like. If you have any questions and stuff like that, then, you know, ask them away. I might do another video answering those questions that people have. Again, this video, just because there's negative parts, I'm not saying that the whole culture is negative. It's not. I love the fact that my husband's Pakistani. I love the Pakistani people. I love the Pakistani culture. I love the Pakistani food. I love everything. It's just being a black person, you don't fit in so well, you know, perfectly well. But it happens. But in terms of the younger generation as well, like, I'm so accepted. I don't feel anything about that. So yeah, that's my video. Please give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you could subscribe for more videos like this. I'm not just going to be doing sit down talks. I will also be doing other videos like weight loss and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to make it a series. So there's going to be a sit down talk series, there's going to be a weight loss series, there's going to be skin and hair series and all that, because I'm trying to get myself to waist length, and I feel like it'd be really fun for me to, like, just keep you guys, like, take you guys along with me on the journey. So anyway, I've been talking too much. I'll chat to you guys next time. Bye.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?